Live from 19 Action News, this is the Sports Extra.
Hey everybody, Tony Zarrella, thanks for tuning in. We've got Browns, we've got the Bridgestone, we've got a lifetime ban in Major League Baseball, but I gotta start with the Tribe going for their 7th straight win. I gotta warn you, this is not for the faint of heart. Tied at 3 in the 9th, the White Sox get to Cody Allen, Jeff Keppinger, a 2-out, 2-run single, so 5-3. Chicago into the bottom half of the 9th. Indians say we got you right where we want you. Bases full for Kipnis. All right, that's good enough to bring Chisenhall home to tie it at 5. On to the 10th. And here you go, another magical moment. Carlos Santana, see ya. Another walk-off blast. That's 7 straight wins, 10 straight at home, and 9 walk-offs this season. Roll, Tribe, roll. There is something special, very special, about this baseball team. And that's why they did, or actually didn't do, what they did today, as the trade deadline came and went, with the Indians basically standing pat. As Terry Francona said, yeah, it's great to land another guy, but that means you have to give one up as well. And considering the team chemistry, he wasn't crazy about that. Also loves the way this rotation is rolling lately, leading the majors with 14 shutouts. The bottom line, Tito more than happy with the 25 he's got.
I'm completely comfortable with the team we have. I like our team a lot. And there are no guarantees, but I'm enjoying the heck out of this group, and I like us every night trying to play the game.
We went into the deadline with, again, in a good position, feeling good about the team. And there were a couple of opportunities to improve, and we were able to do one of them.
We got to talk more about this team chemistry issue. It's a good thing, and I do talk more in my blog, The Z-Files. Check it out on 19actionnews.com. Now, the team they're chasing, the Tigers, did make a couple of moves, including getting Jose Iglesias, a young shortstop, from the Red Sox. Why? Because Johnny Peralta is about to be suspended, likely tomorrow. Speaking of which, A-Rod's going to be hit with a lifetime ban. That's no surprise, so we'll see how he handles that. Meantime, the Tigers refuse to cool off, beating up on the Nationals today. Torrey Hunter deep in the second inning. Tigers big, 11-1. That's 9 out of their last 10. I cannot wait until they get to town next week. Browns put the pads back on today and took it up a level, and of course, it starts at the top. Yeah, be Coach Chud lighting the fire. You want hits? Check out Kent Richardson, the rookie out of West Virginia, laying out Torrey Gurley. But give Gurley credit, gets right back up. Trent's looking strong as well. Look, his good friend Marshall Faulk was on hand, and Marshall has something that T-Rich wants.
Super Bowl. Super Bowl. That's what I'm praying for. That's what I'm pushing to. That's what we striving for every day.
Well, there's another guy who has one of those, and he came aboard in the offseason. We're talking, of course, about Paul Kruger and the impact he can make on one of the strongest units on this team. Here's Mark Schwab. Anthony, congratulations. You're looking pretty good in that Cleveland Cavaliers cap.
Thank you. It's my new color.
Absolutely. Glad to have you here. You made history tonight, and to do it, you may know this, you beat out one of your new teammates, Tristan Thompson. Before tonight, he was the highest drafted Canadian player ever at 4th overall. You beat him by 3 spots.
It's a great feeling. Hard work pays off. You being a Toronto native, you might be the only possible draft pick I could say this to. I think you'll find Cleveland winters very mild. It's cool to me. I'm cool with it. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow at Cavs headquarters. Now, it's clear Whedon has become more comfortable with his reads, which is leading him to his tight ends. So I went one-on-one with Benjamin Watson. Brandon Whedon came out, Ben, earlier in the week and talked about how you've come on strong, and he said something like, well, yeah, he's quicker than people think. I know he's not too young to remember this play.
Bailey taken off, and he gets away from the one man who had a shot at him. Talk about a game changer. Bailey, is he in or not?
All right, so that was against the Broncos in Denver back in '06 in the playoffs. I've always wanted to ask you about this play because if I coached youth football, that's the play that I would show my kids when I talk about not giving up. What do you remember about that?
Well, I remember it was a cold day. It's a cold day. I remember, I hadn't got the ball all game, so I was looking for a way to kind of, put my stamp on the game. I was like, throw me the ball, man. So I remember Tom throwing the ball in the corner and it getting intercepted and just chasing the guy, just chasing Champ. And I wasn't the only one. I was the one that ended up catching him. But you had the worst angle. I did. But it kind of turned into kind of a challenge, I think. Challenge to see if I could catch him and just to give effort. You know, I was always taught, you know, to give 100% in everything that you do.
This is an amazing play, Ben. You ran 100 yards. You got him down at the 2. He fumbled.
And the referees got it wrong.
Now, live. This is the Serpentini Chevrolet Sports Report on 19 Action News.
I don't necessarily think I need to defend myself to the public or especially in the papers. I know what I'm doing here.
He is spot on with his...
Byron Scott a couple of weeks ago when he held that stance until the end. The end, of course, coming this morning when Chris Grant, the GM, gave him the news. Hey, everybody, Tony Zarrella back here live at Cavs headquarters. So let the search for the replacement officially begin. There are going to be more than a few openings around the NBA. Not only good news for Byron, he's going to work again, but also for the Cavaliers. But time is of the essence. So I'm going to throw 3 names at you. People are talking about tonight. Scott Skiles, a former Bucks head coach, spent 4.5 years in Milwaukee. Before that was in Chicago with the Bulls. But his numbers, average at best, he doesn't do it for me. You want to dream big? Phil Jackson, his name keeps coming up. I don't know if I want another Mike Holmgren situation where you give him the title of president and then, yeah, he also coaches. He's going to want to go to a contender. How about a guy who, well, this is what Chris Grant wants, a grinder, a worker who preaches defense? Sounds familiar. Yeah, don't rule out Mike Brown. That could happen. He and Grant are still tight. As for who the players want, they're still trying to digest what went down today.
You know, I just lost my head coach, so I haven't really given thought to a new coach or anything like that. So this is all new to me right now, and my emotions are running high. And you know, I'm just trying to get over, you know, the loss of, you know, my basketball father, as I called him.
All right, Kyrie Irving. The other big press conference today took place exactly 15 miles away. Mark Schwab on hand at Browns headquarters. Schwabi, a week away from the draft. These guys don't give away any secrets, huh?
Sports director Tony Zarrella is standing by. Also, the 2 newest Browns were there today, Whedon and Richardson. What'd you think?
I think they're very polished. They're sharp guys, grounded, you could tell. And when you talk to a guy like Brandon Whedon, you can tell he's 28 years old, just a very mature guy. You know, it wasn't that long ago, Schwabi, as you know, that he was throwing baseballs, not footballs. Drafted by the Yankees, he gave it a shot, then decided, I'm going back to school. I want to play football. The rest is history. Introduced, as you said, along with Trent Richardson today. I don't know that Whedon will keep that number 1 on his jersey. May choose number 3 like he wore in college, but he'll be number 1 in your heart if he can become the Browns' first franchise quarterback since Bernie. I reminded him that 20 guys since Kosar have tried and failed. What separates you from that pack? Can you be the franchise guy?
Yeah, I mean, that's my vision. I have a lot of confidence in my game, and my time at Oklahoma State, we won a lot of football games, and that's the only thing I know. I'm a competitive guy. I'm going to come in and give my all. I can guarantee you that's the truth. I'm going to be the first one here, and I'm going to be the last one to leave, and I'm going to do everything in my power to help this team win games.
Schwabi, much more, in fact, the entire one-on-one with both Whedon and Trent Richardson tonight on the Sports Extra. Now they got to go out and get him a receiver. That's your job to talk about that. Well, Tom, I'd like to start with asking you exactly who you're going to draft. Let's get right to the number 4 overall pick. We'll get on the list.
Yeah, well, it's still obviously really early, and the juniors just finally we got the list today of the 65 juniors that are in this draft. So we have a long way to go, but we're getting closer to figuring out who's going to be there.
And I know that you're hesitant to talk about guys specifically, but when you look at a guy like Robert Griffin, have you seen enough of him to know if he can be an elite quarterback for any team in the NFL?
Well, actually, now I can talk about him at least because he has declared, and the league said he's declared. But the juniors especially, we have a lot more work to do on all those guys. It's and we started looking at them when we heard the rumors that they may come out. But now that we know they're official, now we can get to talk to the coaches about them and all that stuff, the background information. So we know about them, but there's a lot more work to be done.
Tom, you know what everybody in your fan base wants with that number 4 overall pick. They want offense. I think it's going to be like the scene in Frankenstein with the villagers and the torches. Yep. If you go defense, and I'm sure there's a possibility that could happen if Claiborne's on the list, but you got to get an offensive playmaker. Yeah,
and we haven't really denied that, and we know we need help on offense. And in a perfect world, there will be a good player there at 4, and an offensive player, and hopefully that happens. But if there's not, or there's somebody that we don't think is worth that pick, there's a possibility of us moving down. But still, we are going to focus on offense.
Tom, when you talk about Colt McCoy, Mike Holmgren has done the same thing. When you follow up assessing Colt by throwing Seneca Wallace's name into the mix, we read into that. We say, well, obviously, if you mention 2 quarterbacks, you're telling us you don't have one, that franchise guy.
Right. Well, no, I kind of disagree with that. You know, I think Colt has shown enough that he's won some games. He's played well at times. You know, and does he need to improve? There's no question about it. But we think with a full off season, with some help on the offensive side of the ball, if I can get him some help player-wise, we do think he can be a quarterback in this league. We are going to continue to build it through the draft, so it's going to take a little bit. But we fully expect to be a much better football team next year and win more games.